Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series 2-pack, the Walmart exclusive 6-arm Spider-Man and Morbius. This was part of the Walmart Collector Con this last go-around that was at the San Diego Comic-Con time frame. This went up, Joe Fixit went up, and the Bucky Captain America went up. So some people have gotten their Bucky Cap, some people have gotten their Joe Fixit. Some people have gotten this 2-pack. I was lucky enough to get this. This was the only thing that shipped out of those three so far for me. It came from Florida and surprisingly came across country pretty damn fast. But they shipped it out in a poly envelope and it's all kind of beat up in the box. But, you know, I don't really care because this 2-pack really sucks. So, it's funny because... you know, we basically have the same exact Morbius that we've gotten before, right? We have the 6-arm Spider-Man that we've gotten before, but this one is an updated one, so you're thinking, oh cool, there's a diaphragm joint. They updated it, that's pretty awesome. Not really, it still is not very good. So this is probably going to be a pretty negative video because I was hoping for better, and it's just not very good. Yeah, so let's get into it. So we have the box here. You can see the 3D renders for Morbius and the 6-arm Spider-Man. We get the 3D renders on that side. We get some comic artwork there, which is pretty cool. So you actually can see Morbius there, and you got the 6-arm Spider-Man there. Here on the back of the package, we see what he comes with. You get Morbius that comes with the other cape piece. You know, he has the two of them. And then you have the Spider-Man figure that comes with the extra set of hands. So for the suited hands, we got thwip hands and we have fists. The exposed arms, the additional arms, all have fists for the hands. That's exactly what we got with the previous version, so that is nothing new. It's essentially the same exact figure, but we do get a new torso because they added in a diaphragm cut, which sounds really cool. But it's not, because it's not very good, because the body is just really not good. This was the Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure that came out in the Ultimate Green Goblin wave, which is the first wave of the Infinite series, which came out in 2013, or was it 2014? Somewhere in that time frame. That's how old the base body is. So the legs are really thin and everything like that. Mine came super warped out of the package, so I kind of heated up, cooled it down a little bit. Still not great. Morbius, I did a little bit better, but it's still a little warped. So it's just not a great 2-pack. Now, if you missed this Morbius, hey, this is a good chance to get this Morbius, because I actually like this Morbius. It's just, for me, it's not necessary, having had essentially the same exact one from before, which I think is actually better in some ways, not all the ways. They're very similar, so either way, right? So if you missed that Morbius, this is your chance to get Morbius. I don't know how much this figure is going for on the aftermarket or anything like that. Probably not a lot. I don't know. But if you missed out on it, cool. If you missed out on the 6-arm Spider-Man, this is your chance to get it. I don't think this one is a high-priced figure. I have no idea. I haven't checked. Everybody hated it when it came out. I thought it was all right for what it was. You know, some kind of ab articulation would have been cool. We got it now, so you know, we'll kind of go there. So if you missed out on these figures, cool. Why not? Decent. If you have these figures, it's definitely not one that you need to upgrade, because I don't know that this is that much of an upgrade. And then Morbius is just definitely not an upgrade. So enough of that. Let's get in for the closer looks. We'll take a closer look at Spider-Man, closer look at Morbius, and then we'll quickly go through everything. I'm going to try and keep this video pretty short, even though I know I just kind of ranted and rambled on for 4 minutes now. But let's go ahead and zoom in. Okay, so looking at Spider-Man first. So you can see there, we got very similar pieces. So the head sculpt is the same. We just get a much darker red and a little bit of a darker blue compared between the two. Otherwise, they are basically the exact same thing. You know, we don't get painted web lines or anything like that. We do have the sculpted texture of the suit, because again, this was the Andrew Garfield suit is what this was based on. But we get this ab crunch in there, or diaphragm. So I was thinking, oh, diaphragm, that's cool. We don't get a whole lot of tilt because the lower shoulders, you know, are gonna, you know, kind of hinder that. And then the ab itself, you know, it's not very useful. That's back all the way. that's forward all the way. So not a whole lot going in there, but you can get the turn in there, which is good because we did not have that before. So we do have that advantage going on for us there. So the Morbius figure, looking at him, is pretty good. We get a little bit of a wash or dry brushing or whatever it is kind of in here, as you can see there, to kind of dirty up his arms and his hands and things like that, and then a little bit in the chest, and then it seems to be much heavier on his face compared to his chest and his arms and stuff. If you look at the previous one, it was a little bit lighter on his face, a little bit darker on his chest, but his arms and hands were really covered in it quite a bit. Which was pretty good. So he's definitely a lot cleaner looking this go around. We do get better painted fingertips on this new one. So there's that, and then the red like belt, I guess it would be, is painted much better. As you can see, the red over the black just didn't have enough of the hits to truly give it a nice red, whereas this one, we get a very nice red going on over it there. We do get the two different versions of the cape, so we just port this on his back, and you just have the one that's just draped down like so, and then we do get the bat-shaped version here, as you can see. Just like that other one that I already have that I showed you guys. So you can have that so you can get him into some flight poses and things like that. It is a Bucky Cap base body. The torso is obviously not quite Bucky Cap. We do get more of a matte finish compared to a shiny finish from before. The boots are actually a little bit different, and I don't know if it's just kind of updated version of it, but the boots are slightly different, whereas we got sculpted lines right down the center there. We do not get those this go around on this Morbius. So if anything, that would be the only difference, but they're exactly the same thing. The head sculpts are the same. The facial hair is a little bit different. We got more of a beard going on here. Here we got more of just a goatee that doesn't look all that great. I like this bearded look, I think, a lot more, but yeah. There we go between the two. And it's funny because it almost looks like this head would look better with this dirtied up chest than this paler head over here. So I'm actually going to swap that out, and we'll see if that actually looks better, because I think it will. You know what? Yeah, it does look a lot better. This head sculpt, because he has kind of the dirtier face, looks good on this body with those arms and stuff like that, and then the more pale face looks good here, so you could swap around. They don't swap the best, though. As you can see, this head is very wobbly on here, and then this one was a little bit stiff getting on there. So let's see, why is that? We pop that off. The pegs look about the same, so I guess it's just the head sculpts, the pegs, and the holes in the head sculpts themselves. Kind of odd, but if you swap the heads, I think it does look better. But I'm going to put it back to the way, that these ones came. So that one there, and then the more pale one here. That's just a little bit interesting is all. Now let's go ahead and take a look at their articulation. Okay, so Morbius is first. So Morbius can't really look up because he's got the collar piece that's going to hinder this head being able to go back. So looking up is not really a thing, but he can look down. You can't really do a full rotation in there, but you can turn it a little bit. The shoulders, you can get them to go straight on out like so. Full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. They do have pins there, but they're black pins, so it works out just fine. You see a little bit of the white of the plastic in there, but nothing too bad. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on there. We get an ab crunch on Morbius, so he can crunch forward that much. He can go back that much, so even with the cape, he could still do it. There, you got the waist swivel in there. Legs go out. I thought they made updates to the Bucky Cap, but maybe this one didn't quite get it. So his legs are only going that far apart. I could have sworn Bucky Cap had big time improvements over that. So that is unfortunate there. He can't kick forward really high though. Leg goes back slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee. It does have pins on there. You do get a calf swivel, mid calf there. Foot hinges down all the way, hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and these are the tiny Bucky Cap feet. I do have a Bucky Cap Hydra body, But this is an old one too, with his legs not being able to go off to the side very much. So that was Morbius. Not a whole lot going on there. Now for the Spider-Man figure, there's way too many arms and all of that to be going on. So we'll do some of it. Head has a swivel there. He can look up. It is on a disc hinge, so he can look up all the way. He can look down all the way there. Full rotation in that head. You can actually get some pivot kind of that way. So you got different shoulders. So you can get the highest shoulder out that much. You get the next shoulder up and out a little bit, and then you can get this next one up and out way a whole lot, as you can see, because it really protrudes out much more than like the previous version did. So if we like lift up there, you could see here it's in a little bit more. It's definitely out way more because of the new design of the torso there. So you can get a crazy range of motion going on in there, but that hinge is the skin tone color as opposed to any of the blue of the suit there. Each of these arms does have an upper bicep swivel, so you could swivel there. They do all have pins. They are all double jointed elbows. So you can get all that much bend there on each one of those elbows. Each hand swivels and has the standard horizontal hinge on each one of the hands there. You got the diaphragm in there, so you can twist that diaphragm all the way around, so you can get him into some turns there, which we couldn't do before, which is good. Again, like the tilt, you can't because it hits the lowest shoulder there. It's there, you just can't get any use out of it, unfortunately. And then again, coming forward is only that much, going back is only that much there. So really, standing straight up is almost the same, and you could see a lot of gap in there. And don't get me wrong, a torso is for the most part better than not. Only because in this case would be the swivel is I think the main benefit. Other than the swivel, it just doesn't give you a whole lot to work with. They did change the web pattern of the suit as well. There's a little bit more spaced out on the webs, which I do think is an improvement as well. Legs go out that far apart, so that is good. He can kick forward really high there. Leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. A double jointed knee like so. It's pretty damn gummy, so just be aware of that because it's very thin. You do have a calf swivel there, or boot swivel. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So you're not going to get him into some crazy, like super crazy poses or anything, but it's definitely better than the previous version that we got. So if you didn't get the previous version, and this is your chance to get it, because I don't know that we're going to get another good I don't know that we'll get a first good 6-arm Spider-Man figure. But if you missed it, you need one. This is one to pick up. If you have the other one, I don't think there's enough here to necessarily warrant an upgrade, especially at a $50 price point. Plus, I think Walmart sold out of this 2-pack. So, just a heads up on that as well. Alright, so final verdict on this 2-pack. It's just super not necessary. It's just, to me, it's always been a very odd 2-pack to me because I just didn't see the need for it. I understand new collectors that come in that need to get a hold of some figures. Cool. But Hasbro's never really been one to do straight reissues. They have from time to time, and it's fairly seldom. Usually some things may change, or it's some kind of special release. They're like Brown Suit Wolverine. Well, they came in a vintage card. That's a subline, so it made sense there, versus the Juggernaut wave. But like this Morbius, it's the same. They didn't change. I mean, the facial hair is different. Maybe that's the thing, and it's such a small change. Maybe I'm not really taking that into consideration and just being too negative, which, could be the case because I am being very negative in this video. I know I am. But again, if you missed out on the Morbius from before, yeah, this is your way to get it. Sure. We had a different Morbius figure, but I actually like this one more than that other one that was in one of those Venom waves. The 6-arm Spider-Man, I don't know that people were screaming like, oh, I want to get that 6-arm Spider-Man. If they were, hey, this is a good chance too. 2 birds, 1 stone. It's $50. But, that's how much the figures cost now. That's kind of the way it is. To me, the diaphragm cut on the Spider-Man, while cool that we got something, it still leaves a lot to be desired because I'm just not a fan of the body that they use. So if they use a more sturdy, stable body, think of like the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man. If they did something with that and then gave us a new torso to match these 6 arms on that bigger body, how awesome would that have been? Like, that would have been really cool, and I think that's where, you know, unfortunately we kind of miss it. Kudos to Hasbro for, again, going back to the drawing board and giving us a new torso. I think they may have done the best that they could. I know others have customized their own and things like that. I'm not a toy maker. I don't know what goes on, what the insides of these look like, what they can do with the factories, how thin the walls can really get of the plastic, how much maneuverability and room is in there, all this and that. I don't know any of that. So just as a consumer, I would want a freaking bulkier Spider-Man that isn't gummy as shit, to have the 6-arm Spider-Man. And I'm hoping one day that we get a Man Spider figure. You know, hopefully that's what this will all lead to. But, you know, we'll see. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this 2-pack? Is it one you're picking up because you didn't get these other ones? You missed out, so you need to get a hold of them? Or you're a completist like me and then get the figures so you could review and then talk shit about them and put them on video and then everyone says how you're super negative all the time kind of thing. I don't know. Bit of fun. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.